Hi guys, how yous doing? And welcome to my humble abode. Hi folks, how yous doing? And welcome to the pod blast. I'm doing it today in my sunroom. I'd have done it more this way, but I've got some washing there, so I want to kind of do it so you could see outside there where the sun is, and at the back there where all the trees are and so forth. But I just want to come on here just to say a massive thank you to certain people, especially over the last few weeks. Which have kind of, it's really got my YouTube journey going here. And I'm really excited about it. And there's so many exciting things to look forward to in the future. And, I've never been so excited for a while, like when it comes to stuff like anything other than what I do for a living and so forth. But, the past few weeks have been amazing. I absolutely loved it. It's like I'm not long back from a holiday in Benidorm where I've logged a few videos out there. I was there for a week. I love Benidorm. It's got its lovers and haters, but I love the place. I've been that many times and I've got friends out there, and it's just great to just go out and to see, lovely people out there. It's really, really great. And the weather's not too bad either. But it's also, when I say Benidorm, it's got its lovers and its haters. It's obviously got the strip and stuff. And, you've got like a place where, it's like you've got like the strip where I've done that years ago, but not now. New town and old town for me. And honestly, Levante Beach is just fantastic as well, and Poniente Beach. But the next thing I'm going to do when I go to Benidorm is I want to go into the Cala de Finisterre, because I saw videos of it and we just never had the time. Well, not saying the time, but just couldn't really fit into this holiday. But we will next time. And we've never done the fish and chips thing in Benidorm. We'll do that as well. But we'll come to that. But what I want to say is, it started off before that. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did 3 or 4 videos with Lee, the Mac Master. And, I absolutely loved doing them. I just found it fun because when I did those videos with them, a lot of people, when they think about Edinburgh, they think about the castle, or they think about the Royal Mile, and places like that. So I took up one of those hidden gems, and he was blown away. It was like he couldn't believe Edinburgh had a beach. My mum and dad used to take me to the beach when I was a young lad, and it was great. He used to tell me all about Sean Connery was a lifeguard at the Portobello swimming pool, and Johnny Weissmuller dived off the top diving board. And, I used to think it was just all myth, but, if you Google it, it'll tell you that they actually worked there. Well, that's where they were. But Portobello is one of my favourite places. Where I used to live before I moved here, my flat was actually not that far from Portobello. And the street I was living in, it was just pokey, horrible, noisy little street. A lot of noisy neighbours. I'm not saying the neighbours were bad. There were some nice people that still stay there. But there's other people that just like to be noisy and heard. And, which was one of the reasons why I moved house. It just, it's like I was busy doing different things, I was kind of in a bit of a flux with the film work as well. And it was like I was working on doing different jobs, working with cash and carry and stuff like that, and Amazon and all those things. And, you just wanted to get a good sleep, and you couldn't. Just people shouting, like people with loud motorbikes driving past, and, like your little, what do you call them? It's like those joyrider type young guys that have just passed their test, like zooming up and down the road type thing, and so, my wife and I just decided to move. And, we're at a nice, lovely part of the town where there's another side of the town, actually quite near the airport, Edinburgh Airport. And it's like back garden, serene as anything, bedrooms there. And it's like, it's just like you get a nice peaceful sleep. You wake up in the morning, nothing. I thought to myself, once I moved in here, that, once, like on a Saturday morning or something, you would get guys that would be coming out with their lawnmowers and, making a lot of racket and stuff. But the neighbours have been lovely, honestly. We've got some of the really lovely neighbours. A lot of them kind of keep themselves to themselves, but, why not, eh? Why not? Right, so going back to who am I? Well, I'm an actor, professional actor, and also an author. I started off my acting many years ago. I had a little stint at drama school when I was a very young age. I never used to like to talk about it because when I left, it kind of left a bit of taste in my mouth. Even a lot of my acting friends back in the day never knew that I kind of left drama school. I was there for a few months and I wasn't even 16 actually. And, I had to do work to bring in wages. And my family likes my mum and dad and that. I'm not blaming them for bringing me out or anything. It's just, it's just how things were then. And, I was brought up in a working class environment. And my dad, he worked in Leaf Docks. He was a docker for years. And, he worked with a lot of tough guys, a lot of tough men. And he thought, you know what, you need to be a breadwinner. You need to go out and, like earn a crust. It's like what they used to say. And, just earn money for the family, just for the family to go on and just, pay the bills and stuff. And, my dad kind of knocked that work ethic into me. So, once I got out, my wee brief stint in drama school, I only had a few months left or something, 3 or 4 months, I think it was, in high school. And then I was going to work for my dad. Now, when I was a young kid back then, I'm a totally different animal. Well, I was a totally different animal than what I am just now. I'm very strong-minded. I'm very, so I like to say how it is, practically. But back then, I was kind of a wee bit weak. And, I would, if my dad or my mum said, right, we want you to do this, I'd be like, yeah, all right. And, I just couldn't be bothered with drama, no pun intended. So, once, I think it was about 3 or 4 months before I was to leave school. And I think it was 2 months into coming back from school, my dad got made redundant. And, that was way back in, was it 1989 or 1990? And, well, that was that up in there, like joining my dad to work with him. So then what I did was, it was like, I was that sickened and gutted about leaving drama school. I thought, what, I'm just not thinking about acting for a while. Joined the Royal Mail. And I had so many fantastic years with the Royal Mail. It was like when I first joined it, it was amazing. Especially I was known as a postal cadet. And from being a postal cadet, used to be called a messenger as well. You would kind of work your way up, from postal cadet to PhD to postman, PHG, and eventually boss. Now I kind of went through the like different, well, no ranks, but I was wanting to do that just to kind of work my way up at that time, and I was enjoying my time in the Royal Mail, and I met a lot of really good, really nice people. And, at that time, there were so many opportunities for people that were joining the post office. And, they had like football teams that were competing, had like badminton, had pool, had lots of different squash things, had different competitions, even cricket. And I'm not even into, I don't like cricket, but they had different things for different teams. In fact, I don't think they did have a cricket team. Maybe they did, I don't know. But yeah, so they had all those different competitions and stuff. And then what happened was, things that were happening for me. It's like I was a postal cadet, and then I was working my way up to becoming a postman. Then I had opportunities to become a manager. And a couple of guys who were managers, they were putting me forward to become a manager. And, I was young at the time. I was quite young. But, it's like a lot of Royal Mail managers now are like in their early 20s, early to mid 20s. And, but then I was like quite young and they were putting me forward. But when I was going for the auditions, the interviews, I just never really had the mettle to do it. I was just young, still wet behind the ears. And then, as the years went by, I was just, I was kind of, still doing the same thing. I was enjoying my job. I had a great little beat in the Grass Market that I delivered for years. I loved the Grass Market. Before that, I was working in Albert Street, which back in the early mid 90s was a fantastic place to deliver mail. Had so many Albert Street's in the Leaf Walk end of Edinburgh, and it's used to be known to be really rough, and prostitutes and all those drug dealers and just people that are just bad people. And but once I started delivering there, people got to know me and that, and they were honestly some of the nicest people you ever meet in your life. And the tips at Christmas time were amazing. Absolutely loved it. Then I went to the Grass Market, which is in the centre of the town. And the Grass Market, it's just like pubs, restaurants. In the summertime, it is amazing. When the Six Nations are on, or when the football's on, the pubs are jumping, especially when the Six Nations are on. And I delivered in the Grass Market, Lothian Road, in the centre of town. And, it's like George IV Bridge. The Elephant House is where J.K. Rowling first wrote the first Harry Potter. And, these are great memories, just to, even some of the memories I had from the Grass Market were kind of quite sketchy as well, just with the weather. It's just when it was snowing. You had these big set of steps called the Vennel, and when it was really cold, those set steps were really icy and treacherous when you were coming down them. And it was because you always had to. There was a nursery at the top of the Vennel I had to deliver every day, and you had to go all the way up. You couldn't just say, "No, I'll wait until you had to actually go up and deliver them." But great times, just great memories from a time in the Royal Mail. I left the Royal Mail after so many years, 26 years, I think it was, but under a bit of a dark cloud. Unfortunately, the job wasn't how it was. A lot of the people, all the good people that I knew, I wasn't working with. I was working with some horrible backstabbers, not nice people. And, just unfortunately, that's just how it is, and, it's just, all good things come to an end, but then life goes on, and, it's just one of these things. But Yeah, you know, it's like I've got great memories. You've got to really kind of keep the good memories, and just get all the crap ones. Just get rid of those. Apart from working, it's like I did lots of theatre, uh, especially many years ago. I used to get newspapers. I mean, obviously, once I kind of got fed up with acting for a while when I joined the Royal Mail, it was just like I wanted to get back into it. I missed it. I loved acting. I learnt quite a bit when I was from a little short time at drama school. But it just wasn't enough to kind of, at the time, just say to people, what, that I went and, because I don't like failing. I've never ever been a quitter when it came to anything. I feel that if I tell people I've only been there for a short space, they'll be like, yeah, but not that I'm worried about what people think, but they'll be like, yeah, he's quit. He just couldn't handle it. Wasn't that at all. It was because, obviously, I had to get financial back. I never had the financial back, and unfortunately, it was just like, I mean, I'm not one for to say, ask my parents to back me when it comes to financially, like when I was doing that. They must have thought, it was just a phase I was going through. And, I don't blame them for that, because, it's just obviously they want the best for their kids. And obviously it's like they thought maybe if I was doing like a proper job, then, or to them, a proper job, then I would, get like once I get more finance and earn proper money, doing like Royal Mail work and stuff, then that I'd be able to pay the bills and stuff. But that's just them. That's just what they thought, But yeah. So anyway, about my acting stuff. Yeah. So once I was kind of like, got back into the acting, I was kind of drawn to like amateur dramatics, like amateur theatre. Used to actually get like little columns in the newspaper saying, theatre group looking for a part to be filled in a show, and used to phone them up and used to ask you to come along and maybe meet them, and then maybe even have a little read of the script, and then just if they liked you, then you would like be accepted into the actual show. So I mean, when I was younger, I did lots of different theatre shows. I did a little bit of Hamlet, did some musical theatre. Believe it or not, I was in a show called Gypsy, and I played the main role as Herbie, who was the agent guy. Or if you've seen the film, the Carol Malden character. And I can remember I used to go to the Edinburgh acting school about 2 or 3 times a week, and it was like a kind of, you just pay for the course there and then, and just it wasn't much, but be like, I don't know, just say a couple of £100 or £100. No, it was £100 for say maybe the term. That's it, the term. And you just go, and honestly, it was a blast. And I had my acting teacher Anna Turnline, lovely wee woman, who's still doing fantastic. She's living in Spain just now. She's looking after dogs, and she's lovely, lovely, lovely woman. And I did lots of good things with Anna, like when it came to, like Hamlet, The Mousetrap, Gypsy, which was loved, absolutely loved doing it. Was nervous about doing it. I remember the audition, and I think in my audition I sang Bohemian Rhapsody, and I got the main role as Herbie. And it was brilliant and got so many great memories from it. And I could remember one time when I think it was a Sunday, and we had a big meeting on the Sunday. And so it goes along. So I'm thinking, now, call me naive or whatever. I've never really heard, at that time, I never really heard about Gypsy. People asked me about, at the time, what did you audition for and what part did you get? I said, well, I got the part of Herbie and Gypsy. And oh, that's a great musical. And they asked me, can you sing? And I'm like, well, no, I can't sing. And they say to me, you do realise it's a musical? And I'm like, no. And I was just, so I goes to the meeting on the Sunday, and the place was packed full of people. There was like the people that played the parts, and there was other people there that would replace, be like, it would replace some of the other actors that were playing the different parts. I don't like a substitution type thing for, it's like if people couldn't make it, then they would replace them type thing. So, so it goes along, and I think it was Anna and wee woman Marion who I got singing lessons from. I went to Trinent, which is just outside Edinburgh, for singing lessons. She had the piano on that, and she had dun, 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 and you had to do that with your voice type thing. And she went and gave me the script, and I'm like, honestly, the script, it was like that thick. It was like, and I'm like looking at it, and it's like I'm just reading, like you see the story, and then you've got the songs, and I'm like, WTF, but it was just, the whole experience was amazing. There was one particular time where I really, really, it's like, I was having the time of my life actually doing it. And I think it was a Tuesday that we were performing, and what actually happened was just before we had an interval, me and the girl who played Rose, who played Gypsy's mum, had like a duet, and about halfway through the duet, there was a power cut, and I was like, what? And most of the lights had gone out, so everywhere was dark. And we had the microphones attached to us. So what had happened was we just kept on singing, me and the girl, Gillian. I don't know, honestly, I've never saw Gillian for years. And we just finished the song, and that was the last song before the interval. And then after it, we just walked off after finishing it, and we had the biggest clap of the night. It was brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Great memory. You just got to carry the show even when things like that happen, little things like that. There was another time during the show, I think it was on a Sunday, and I thought, that we were off. Well, not that we were off. I thought we weren't doing the matinee. We just had the night show. And what happened was, I remember used to get like the football on Sunday afternoons or tea time, near tea time, and I'm having something to eat. Telephone goes, picks up. I'm like, hello, she says, Bobby, this is Anna. She's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in the house having my tea. She says, the show doesn't start till 25 minutes. And I went, what? So I said, Mum, take my tea. I had to phone a taxi, took me right there. So it was about maybe 5 minutes before the show started. Got all my stuff on, so quick, makeup, blah, 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 blah. And then that was me. But, oh my God, that was just such a rush, but, see me, honestly. But yeah, so that was Gypsy. But then, as the years went by, I did other different work. I did like Mort, which was part of the Discworld thing. Discworld series. I used to tour up and down It's like we did shows in Edinburgh and so forth, and we ended up in Brighton, and that was fantastic as well. Did played Burkity Birkin here. I've played lots of unsavoury characters. I did other work for other amateur theatre companies as well, and they were all good. It was like worked with some really nice people. It was fun, and obviously the social aspect after it was great too. And we went out after and had a few beers and stuff. And then obviously the internet came in, and once the internet came in, networking got better. It's like I was meeting filmmakers from all over. Edinburgh, Glasgow, Fife. Even up in the Highlands. But it was good, and just getting to people to know, what you can do type thing. But nowadays, it's great because I feel I've established myself in independent circuit anyway, especially, it's like I've been in a couple of like independent films down England. I was in a film called Legacy, which was made in Northampton. And I was in that with certain people. Guy who fought Brad Pitt in Snatch in the boxing ring, he was in it. Can't remember his name. Dave Courtney, who recently passed, he was in it as well. And, that was a great experience going down and, working with all these different filmmakers. And, it was fantastic. And I was also in a film called The Droving, which you can get on YouTube, by the way. So you don't have to pay for it. It's on YouTube called The Droving, and that was set in Lakes, the Lake District, which was filmed in, Penrith and Ambleside and all those places. So check them out. They're fantastic. Absolutely loved doing that. Then I did other independent films up in Scotland. I'm in a horror film called Skinjacker, which is in Hulu just now, I think it is. It's on Hulu. And that was great, working with the likes of lots of really good actors, especially Rhiannon Farley, who's been on EastEnders, Corrie and Emmerdale, and River City. She's been on lots of different shows. She played my wife in it. And, and then obviously the proper other like film work was coming in. I started doing things for like Outlander. It's like I had a part in Outlander, the first Outlander, and then obviously the second one. The first Outlander part was more like a supporting role, but you see me in it anyway. You see me spin it, which is what I see. Well, you do, but I'm in it, and it's you see me doing it. And Outlander, Blood of My Blood, which is currently on MGM Prime. So, if you like your Outlander, you'll see me on the Blood of My Blood, Season 1, Episode 2 as a barman. And that was great fun. A great experience, great people. The Outlander folk are absolutely brilliant. I worked with the director, Jamie Payne, who directed Luther. It was him that directed my scenes in Blood of My Blood. And nice guy as well. And it was funny because I was watching the TV the other night there, and Benediction was on. And that was made in 2018 or 2000. It was just as the COVID thing was coming out. And I was working with Jack Loudon. And the director at the time was Terence Davis. Lovely, lovely man, honestly. He passed away a few years ago now, and he was just such a lovely, lovely guy to talk to work with. And, it was great working with Jack Loudon and Jeremy Irvine. Well, I didn't actually work with Jeremy Irvine, but it's funny because me and Jeremy were in the same scenes together in Outlander Blood of My Blood. Great interacting with him. But we're also in the same film, Benediction, together. And, we had a good chat about that when we were getting our makeup. We're sitting next to each other at the makeup chairs. And it was just great chatting to him. And yeah, so, I'm looking forward to 2026 because there is film news which I'm going to hopefully announce soon. It's not set in stone just yet. I've been approached. I was initially approached to cast a film as well. I'm not a casting director by any means, but this particular person asked me to cast a film, and I thought about it. I thought I could have did it, but there was just too many things to do that casting directors do. The money is good though, and I thought maybe I could have did that, but I just didn't want to slip up with it or cast the wrong people because if you foobar it, then it could really I'm just really, really, really excited, absolutely excited, and which is where I'm going to end up talking about just now. So it could really end badly for you. You know what? You might get sued, or just something like that. Anyway, yeah. So what's happened is I spoke to the guy, and he says, "Would you like to be in it?" I said, "Well, yeah." So I'm just kind of waiting on developments where that's concerned. I've also been asked to be in another film which another guy's funding. But again, I'm waiting for more news on that as well. And I've also got other things coming up film-wise, but we'd have to speak to my agent about that. But I'm just kind of waiting until after the year. I think round about this time of the year, you've not really got any clarity about what's going to be happening. People just want to get Christmas and all that stuff out of the way, especially even in mid to late November. Why YouTube? I suppose it goes back to when I did. I suppose this goes back to like when we had COVID, and when we had COVID, you couldn't really leave the house, and I thought to myself, okay, well, I hate sitting on my backside. I like to get up and do things. I like to be creative. I used to enjoy like sketching, drawing, and so forth. But I thought, what? Watch DVDs, watching films over and over again. Like Star Wars, I love Star Wars. But then just watching other good films, and then I thought, what? I'm just going to start watching a lot of YouTube. So I thought, okay, and I thought to myself, watch a lot of funny cat and dog videos, But then I came across particular videos which certain people were making. And, as I kept on watching all these different channels, I kept, it's like, I was thinking, I saw this guy's other video, blah, blah, blah. And, eventually one of them was Lee, the Mac Master. Honestly, I was just drawn to his videos. His videos are really, really, really good. He does them really well. I think a lot of YouTubers have a certain style to do particular videos. And then you had like, what's her name? Lucy, the Benidorm enthusiast. I enjoy watching Lucy's videos because I love Benidorm. And I know Lucy personally. She's lovely, lovely, lovely lassie. And, and then just then you just get to watch other different particular videos. And then, it's like I made contact with Lee and I got to interview him on one of my interviews, which it's honestly a good few years back, but you'll see it on interviews in the playlist of my channel. But it was great chatting to Lee, and Lee's great. I've made contact with a few other YouTubers, and you don't really get the same back from them. There were certain YouTube channels that I watched, and I thought, they seem all right. But then, they unfortunately not what they seem. They're all like, the other ones are kind of like in their own little bubble type thing. But listen, that's how, if they want to be, it's like, obviously they want their channel to do well and stuff. So, good luck to them. But, like say Lee was brilliant with me, and I was just asking me tips and stuff about his channel and how he started. And then it's like he was telling me how he started off as well. So there's always a particular person or another YouTuber that'll get you started. And I suppose the Master with me is what got me started. I never, ever in my life thought I would become a YouTuber or a vlogger. I suppose in a way, weirdly, I still don't kind of feel it, unless I got more followers, and more subscribers. But, it'll come at some point. I knew a lady who was a vlogger, and she had her own channel. And, it's like, I thought to myself, well, at that time I was thinking, well, why do something like that? But now I know why. And, but you need a kind of, I don't know, kind of like a niche for to do something like that. And especially when you're working as a YouTuber, I don't know, it's like, you look at like say Gary Eats, his things like food reviews, and Lucy the Benidorm enthusiast, Benidorm, all things Benidorm. But where Lee's concerned, he travels everywhere. He does food reviews, and obviously does his thing with his EV. He's got a beautiful car, and tells us his pros and cons with having an electric car and so forth. But with my one, I don't know, I reckon my niche is interviewing people. Now, I don't know if any of you have looked at my playlist yet. I've got different playlists with music. I've got different playlists with interviews, and I love interviewing people. And I've got some really, really, really famous people that I've interviewed there. And there's going to be more, by the way. There's going to be more after the year, which I'm really, really looking forward to. And it's something I enjoy doing when I'm not acting. And, it's like, it's so good doing this. I enjoy documenting, like, especially if I'm going abroad. And, especially when I'm going to Benidorm, I always like to kind of film what I'm doing and stuff. Not all the time. I like to have a little rest from that as well, but most of the time, I like to, I enjoy doing it. It's great. It's like when I did my cruise and stuff, I like to document things. A lot of people do it for different reasons. A lot of people like to do it for, like, so if they've got kids. I don't have children, but if they've like kids, and as they grow up, they could look back on these videos. And, it's like, but I just enjoy doing it. And also, I've also kind of learned the art of editing a little bit more than what I used to. Because I used to get people to do my editing for me if I was like, making a film or whatever, and, I'd have to pay them handsomely for it. And I could be doing it myself, but I know now. Right. Apart from filming and apart from being an actor, I'm also an author. And I have a novel out called Evolve Origins. That's it here. Now, that's the hardback, but you can get them in paperback or you can get them in Kindle. Now, I never in my life thought I would write a book ever. I started making a, a short film like 6 or 7 years ago called Wild as the North, and that was great. Took me 3 or 4 hours, sorry, to do the script for that. And I researched it, and it was great. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link for Wild as the North in the descriptions, so you can have a look at that. Now, it's because of that, which I reckon's given me the writing bug. I wrote another short film, Living in a Room, which I'm going to do hopefully in the next year or so. And I just enjoy writing stories. Now, when I did Evolve Origins, it was like I was putting myself out of my comfort zone, and it was just like thinking, okay, what am I going to do? What kind of story am I going to do for this? And what I did was, it was obviously the character Tommy Moran, who has a lot of things happening to him in his life from when he's a little kid, as he's growing up. He gets badly bullied at school, and he ends up meeting his guardian angel to put him on the long path to. That's what I'm going to say, really. That's what I'm going to say. But all I can say is it was a labour of doing this, because when I did this book, it's like at the time I just bought a new house, and then it got flooded from the guy whose boilers above burst a week before Christmas and flooded my whole living room. And like, me and my wife had to stay in about 7 or 8 accommodations. And when I look at each different page or each different chapter, I think to myself, oh, I stayed in that accommodation. Or I did that chapter, which wasn't long after my dad had passed. And, these things kind of catch up with me. And so it means more to me than just being a novel. But if you read it, if you do happen to buy it, which is, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon, by the way. It's Evolve Origins, it's called. And when you read it, it's like a lot of the things which happen to the main character, Tommy, actually happened to me. I'm not saying everything. And also, I want to clarify, the book's not about me. It's about the character, Tommy. So, I don't want you reading the book thinking, what Bobby done that happened. It's a lot of BS, blah, 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 blah. I've obviously made up a lot of the story as well. So I don't want you thinking, I'm talking crap and all that stuff. A lot of the things happened and a lot of things never happened. But it's all part of the story anyway. And, it was great writing it. And I feel like I've kind of built like this world, my whole kind of world thing. And the good news is, just over 3/4 of the way completing the follow-up to the book. Well, it's, a lot of people might call it Evolve Origins too, but the second book's going to be called Origins Evolution. And hopefully that'll be out next year at some point. But I'm really excited about that as well. I just never thought I could write a book. And listen, if I could do it, anyone could do it. Seriously, it's if you really want to do it. And, I just want to thank the people that have bought the book, so far. I think, especially since I did the videos with Lee, understand some people that were Lee's subscribers as well that bought some of my book as well. So listen, thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. And, you know, it feels good that it's doing so well. I mean, you hear about some of these people that when they write books and when they get self-published, you know, they're lucky if they get a few copies sold. Well, luckily for me, you know, it's like I've got quite a bit sold and I'm totally chuffed about that, you know. But you know, it's weird. I know so many people that have got books out and it's unbelievable. But I'm just so proud of Evolve Origins, and you know, I'm just looking forward to doing the second one, and I'm going to hopefully do about 3 or 4, maybe 5 in the series, because I love the characters, you know, especially Tommy. So just stay tuned. Right. What do I want to do in my YouTube? Right, obviously, what I want to really do in my YouTube is I've got a community channel, sorry, a community page on my YouTube channel, which I am looking to expand a nice wee community, and I want to get as many subscribers as I can. So if you want to, how can I put it? Share my YouTube channel. If you would like to do that, it'd be great if you can do that. There's a lot of exciting things coming up, especially for after the year. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing is obviously more interviews. You know, I've met so many fantastic people on the Pod Blast interview thing. You know, it's like a lot of them are my friends. A lot of them are like top actors that I know so well. Also, do more travelling. I'd love to go back to Benidorm next year, but I just kind of like we feel that we want to maybe go to different other places. Greece will probably be on the radar for next year, so maybe go back to Greece, back down England as well, maybe back in the Highlands. Yeah, just you know, my main aim, what I want to do is obviously I mean, as you can see, I've got over 300 subscribers, and I never ever thought of that. And big thanks to those that have subscribed. Honestly, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. I just want to get up to 1,000, and then the sky's the limit. I just want to make this channel quite big, and you know, especially with a lot of the things which are happening, and especially like with a lot of the film work which is coming up for myself. Once I get more film work as well. But apart from that, yeah, I just want the channel to do really well, and when it does really well, I just want to use lovely people to be part of it, and you know, I know you're going to get your your trolls and your keyboard warriors and stuff, but listen, you know, you take me for how I am or don't take me at all. You know, all I can say to you is, if you like my content, brilliant, fantastic. If you don't like my content, just don't watch it, you know, if you don't like me. But, you know, I'm excited about doing something like this. And I mean, this is a guy who's been on the stage in front of people saying lines, and, you know, I've did like lucky enough to be in good acting shows, well, good TV shows and films. But when it comes to something like this, then I am getting out of my comfort zone. No, but what I want to say is, listen, before I finish up here, a big, massive thanks to the people that have subscribed to me so far. I feel so blessed. And also just, stick by me. And there's going to be a lot more great content coming up. I'm going to be doing more stuff Edinburgh based as well. So I'll be doing more videos in Edinburgh coming up as well. I've kind of injured myself when I was in Benidorm. I went and gashed my shin. So that's kind of healing up nicely just now. But once that's all done and get back to the gym and stuff, and then, get back out videoing, which I'm looking forward to doing, and especially the Christmas thing coming up. It's going to be some great videos there. So listen, if you love my channel, fantastic. Share it, and if you're new to the channel, just subscribe, press the little bell icon, and there's going to be some good stuff happening after the year. And as I said to the people that I've already interacted with in the comments section, listen, thanks for the comments. It's good meeting new people, and this is like an exciting another wee journey which I'm going on. And again, as I reiterate, thank you, Lee, as well for sharing myself with your subscribers. Anyway, apart from that, listen, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and stay tuned, and speak to you all again soon. Okay, bye for now.